What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I'm Mr. Straight Facts. Didn't see me on Friday. Give you a little understanding what happened. Sorry I missed you, but your boy cracked himself in the head. I was like right here, open up the cabinet door, pop myself in the head. I mean, it hurt, but I wasn't dizzy or nothing like that. But next thing I know, it was like blood coming all of it. So I said I can't do the show looking like I got in a fight with Mike Tyson or Baby Tyson because Mike Tyson probably took out my whole eye socket. But anyway, I'm doing well. I'm good. Let's get to what happened today. Well, one, before that, I would like to say release the Epstein files. I try my best to say that every show because I don't want to ever put it on the back burner. If I forget it, my people usually remind me, but I never want to put it on the back burner. Release the Epstein files. Why? Because, of course, the people who know, but those who may doubt it, I don't know too many people in my room who would think that, uh, because these people need justice. It is billionaires who are out here doing their best, and I'm sure there's some millionaires as well that are doing their best to hide these Epstein files. Uh, Donald Trump and his minions are doing something every day just so that you can get your mind off of these Epstein files. And news is kind of helping them. They're chasing every little carrot that these people are out here doing, and you're not hearing anything about the Epstein files. And on top of that, you're not hearing about uh, the Democrats who were saying, Ro Khanna and all them, that we're going to sue Pam Bondi and that $5,000 you're going to have to pay a day and it's going to accrue and all this stuff like that. I'm still waiting on that. Is it Tillis and Ro Khanna and I think it's Robert Rodriguez, I believe. I'm still waiting on that. You mentioned it and you haven't said another word about it. And if it's something you can't do anymore, then you need to come out and say that you couldn't do it. You got people waiting here thinking that you're going to do something. It makes you look bad. It really makes you look bad. What's up, Mark? I see you. I see you, Vera, DJ. It makes you look bad, sir, or sirs. But that's one thing that we needed to do every time. I'm always dealing with Epstein files. They said they had 1 million and 1,000,005 and up to 5 million, whatever files they got. It's ridiculous. I know it's at least 1 million, but they've only given less than 1% of the files already. That makes no sense to me. With the files they did give, it showed a lot of Donald Trump's name in it that people had to decipher, but Donald Trump's all over it. And that's the reason why I think they pulled back on it because they started finding some stuff with Donald Trump that these FBI agents didn't, like cover up. Which gets to the point of if the FBI and the DOJ are covering up for Donald Trump, when are we gonna, put Democrats in power and get these people like under arrest? I mean, charge them at least, because this is insane that they would literally take files and pretend like, it's gonna take them forever to do it. They got 200 agents working on this, according to them, and you telling me 200 agents haven't been able to crack anything? 100,000 a week, 200,000 a week that you can release. All these agents and nothing, not another file. That to me makes no sense. Hey Nomad, I say Nomadic Mariner, what's going on? So I think that something needs to be done about that. Every day we should speak on that. Every news station should speak on it every day, even if you're going to mention it for like a minute, 30 seconds, whatever it may be. Mention it. Do not forget these women. Never forget these children who are women now. I said what I said. Now, other things that came up, they found a little bit more information about Renee Nicole Good. Now, not for me at least, they haven't found a lot, but it's some things about her, kind of shape her a little bit who she is, and I'm happy that they did find something because I'm going to talk about it after we hear the good stuff. But let's listen to what, or let's see what it's from an article, I believe, from the New York Times. In this article, it says she attended Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, where she won a prize in 2020 for a poem entitled On Learning to Dissect Fetal Pigs, before graduating with an English degree in December of that year. I believe she was in her 30s, 37, I believe, something like that. And, you know, when you hear a woman or a human being who later in their years literally go to college and graduate. She graduated in 2020, right? So it's only been 6 years. So if she's 37, 39, or whatever it was, I can't remember the total number. That means she graduated when she was still in her 30s. So that means she went back to school and got an education, was bettering herself. And this asshole took her life. I don't know his name. I know of it, but I don't want to get it wrong. But I don't want to put nobody's name out there if I get it wrong. But man. And once you find out that what this one was about, you know these MAGA, they proved me wrong. They proved me 100% wrong. I didn't think that they would go into this woman's life like they do black people. And many of them came out and did exactly how they do black people. They try to find dirt on the woman who got killed who didn't run over a cop. Now, I told you guys last week when this happened that it was not a traditional crime scene in the sense that an officer involved shooting. The officer cannot leave the scene. None of them should be able to leave the scene. There were 3 that we saw or were there. All of them left the scene, which tells me all of them are not trained as officers, because officers wouldn't leave the scene. They know, and these people might have still known and was just crooked, that you don't leave a scene. Even if it's not a nefarious shooting and it was highly justified, you don't leave the area of the crime, because again, they have to get, forensic evidence off of, like they said that Donald Trump said, oh, he got hit and was going to the hospital. Well, if they had stayed there, you would have seen if he had gotten hit, because you would have saw the dirt off of her bumper, the snow and all this shit like that. That dirt, that mud is collected and everything as you're driving in the snow. You would have saw that on his pants, on his pant leg. You would have, seen his handprint on the car because he was pushing it off. He didn't want to get hit. You would have seen him in pain. They said he got hit. You would have seen that he was limping. You would have seen, they would have took pictures of his skin if he had gotten, bruised or cut or bleeding of any sort. They would have checked and see how he walked and see if there was any particular problem. They would have had him go to the hospital. They would have took his gun away from him. They would have took all the information from him, and they would have asked each one of these 3 people that were right there on the scene independently what happened, so they can get the actual story from each individual before they had a chance to tell each other, like, remember, I did this and I did that, and she was going to push him. She almost, you know what I'm saying? Before you put all that together, independently, those things were supposed to be done. These people didn't do that. And the fact that they did not follow protocol, but yet these Republican pieces of shit are out here trying to make these people legitimate, when even when the investigation to even prove them right, they left. They wouldn't have left if they knew they were in the right. They left because they knew they were in the wrong. They didn't want to be seen at the scene. Hence, those people were gone. How do you get in your car and leave after you don't kill a woman? Knowing you killed her on false pretenses. He knew it. He knew it. He was scared. You could see how he was walking. He walked one direction, he walked the other, and he walked the other direction, and he walked back to the other. He was scared. He didn't know what to do. But they coordinated, told him to leave. That fool left. The rest of them left. And told them that the ambulance is coming 20 minutes later, while not allowing the doctor or a physician on the site try and save her life. We got the fucking Gestapo and shit in the streets. And they're up here trying to find Renee Good's life and find out what the hell she did. They went back into her past. And crazy part, they didn't find nothing. But you know what they did? They reported and doxed her child. I told you these people were devils. I told you that, right? And I ain't talking about like, oh, they're just devilish. No, I'm talking about actual demons. These are not fucking regular ass humans. You do not. These bastards went and found out where her child, elementary school, goes to school, and then says, guess where she takes her kid to? Some kind of liberal something, blah, blah, blah. They know nothing of the school. They've never been there. They don't even live in the same damn state. They're just making shit the fuck up and doxing where the kid's going to be. With all these MAGA nut jobs out here, you're going to tell people where this kid goes to school. And it's not just not making him safe at all. The school's not safe. Almost all, if not all, of these school shootings are MAGA nut jobs. Or children of MAGA nut jobs. And you're going to send your dumbass group of people to this kid's school. You already got one Republican like a few weeks ago. Nut job going around the schools and saying, oh, these schools are getting money and it's fraud without any evidence of fraud. And then you got some mediocre white people who are leading this fucking country that spread that shit out to hundreds of millions of people with no facts to back it up. They don't care about facts, yo. They are mediocre human beings. At best, mediocre is giving them like an A. They're dipshits. They literally are F students. All these dumbasses. Why would you be doing this to a child? A baby who just lost his mom, has already lost his dad, or I don't even know if it's a girl or boy. I haven't really got into that. But the child lost their mom, lost their dad previously. No more hugs for that child from that parent. No more I love you, baby, from that parent. No more hugs and kisses on the cheek for that child, I mean. And you fuckers are out here literally making life worse for the child after the mother's dead. These people are demons. Straight evil. There is no redeeming quality in them. None whatsoever. They know damn well they're not going to heaven. They know they're going to hell. That's why they act the way they act. They are of hell. That's what their character presents. There is no redeeming quality. They're not good human beings. There's no way you can tell me with the little smile on your face and shit like that. This one girl, blonde hair, blue eyed, trying to look all like, I'm a little cute and all this. No, you are a demon straight from hell. There's no way. There's no demon quality about you. None. I hope you see it. There's none. You're going straight to hell. There's no way you can make it to heaven. That child ain't never did a fucking thing to nobody. And I hope, if you believe in Christ, that you say, I hope God is looking down on you and it's like, that is not mine. That is not of me. That will never enter the gates. Hope you wake up every day knowing you ain't entering, bitch. I hope you wake up every day knowing that. And if you don't believe, that's fine. You're still going to have a shitty life. I hope to God everybody docks the shit out of you. I really do. I don't know who you are, so I can't send people your way. That ain't even my style. But I hope they do. Ooh, I hope they do. I hope they know where you work. I hope they know your doctor's office. I hope that they know, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you got. I hope they do. I want nothing but hell for you. Since you're a demon, I want hell on earth for you. I wish it on you. If I was a witch doctor or whatever the fuck, a warlock for a male, I would literally throw a hex on your ass for the rest of your life. May everything you taste like shit. May every guy you get with smell like ass. May your skin fall off when you're 30. I don't give a fuck. I want hell for you. You fucking mess with a baby. A baby who just lost their parent. Just because you wanted to stand up for white supremacy. Even when it's a white woman. Oh, it's a white woman, but she don't believe the way I believe. She's a liberal. That means she like niggas. I don't, so I'm going to go ahead and treat her like she one of them. Why else would you treat somebody who looks like you like shit? How do you treat her like that? Would you treat your own mama like that? That's who she looks like. She looks like your own fucking mama, I'm sure. And you literally just fucked her kid's life up. Just so you can get likes and shit. Ooh, I wish nothing but hell for you. All right. That's what we learn about Renee Good. Getting back to Good. This beautiful sister was out there doing well for her that we know and going back to school and doing for her and her baby and found a wife and had somebody who loved her and also prayers go out to the wife and family for all you're going through. We got your back 100%. 100%. Fuck MAGA. Fuck white supremacists. I hope all y'all die slow. And soon. I just hope you do. Anyway. Today, some of the Republicans are starting to fray. I ain't gonna say they're breaking away from Donald Trump. And I don't give a fuck if they do or don't. That shit's just too much. Like, I wouldn't invest in that, put it that way. It's weak. Because they kiss his ass one day, and the next day, because it messes with their constituency, they act like they care about human beings. And then once that's gone, they get reelected again. They go back to being the demon child. But one of them, I forgot his name. Is it Senator? Is it a Senator Moreno? He came out today, or at least in the last, I think it may be either today or what's today, Monday. So it had to be today. He came out and in support of the GOP, says reviving Obamacare subsidies would be putting America first. See, the thing that kills me, you know what gets me, guys, is these Republicans have to speak idiot. Because not for 1 minute do I believe the Republicans that are lawyers and shit are just plain dumb. They're just evil. They're not dumb, they're evil. And so I don't think of them being dumb. Going to law school, doing all this other stuff and reading the laws and all that, I don't think they're dumb. I just think they're evil. And so they have to speak. Seriously, they have to speak stupid. As you read this, in order to get Trump to hopefully come over to their side on this, because their constituency, these people are mostly in probably purple states. So they're trying to save their jobs to getting back into office and so forth, right? And they don't want to they got to walk this fine line of not pissing Trump off too much. So they got to try and speak stupid. Speak to the point where he may not understand that they're going against him. So what does he do? Putting America first. So he's trying to shape it so that what is Donald Trump going to say? That I'm putting America second? I already said putting America first. So if he comes in saying anything opposite, that means he's not putting Americans first. So they try to do this Jedi mind trick. You got to understand, with dipshits like Trump, that shit don't even work. He won't even remember it anyway. He'll switch the topic and be like, you know what? I think America first is getting rid of Obamacare. That's America first. We'll come up with a plan. And his idiots would be like, yeah, you're going to come up with a plan. Even though 15 years this fool ain't came up with, I don't even think he got concepts. I literally don't think he has concepts. I think those concepts was just bullshit to say like he did something, which he didn't. 15 years, 12 years, whatever it's been, he ain't done shit about it, but talk about how he's going to help them. And here's the crazy part. He never has to have anything. He never comes through. And they know this. They know that he has no motherfucking plan. So what's the point? How can you speak to people who never see the outcome of anything he says he's going to do? They cling on to what he says he's going to do, not what he actually does. That's why Democrats can't really defeat this. It's because these people, and then dipshit people in our own other cultures outside of white people, they follow that. It's a cult. I don't see how. There is no way you can get me to do something against my own best interest. No, Obama couldn't do it. Nobody can get me to do something against my own best interest. These fools do it every day. I don't care if you say, Drew, I'm going to give you $75 billion. Just act like you're a Republican for a day. I'm like, fuck off in your money too. I ain't doing this shit. The fuck you think I'm going to do? Sell my soul just so that you can have a one day of happiness and joy of me being on the other side? Now, fuck all that. No. Money comes and goes. Your integrity, it doesn't do that. You can't wane with integrity. You either have it or you don't. And integrity is something I love for myself. It's like waking up in the morning and look at myself and I'm happy with myself. I'm content. I love myself for being the person who has a fucking standard. You wake up every day shape-shifting. How the fuck can you really care about yourself? One day you care about yourself. The next day you don't give a fuck what you do to yourself. As long as you can make some money, you'll go over here and blow Donald Trump. The next day, if he tell you to do something else, you do it. Have no fucking self-respect. And that's when you see what Republicans did. They have no self-respect for themselves. Anybody who is my age or young, maybe a little bit younger and older, Republicans was all about, at least their little bullshit ass marketing scheme was about family. They just doxed a child. That's family. Yeah, right. They killed a woman that didn't even do nothing to them. They out in the street dragging people around just because they look Latin and sound different than speaking American like white people. They think there was a few of them, but the last one I mentioned, this white guy just pulled over Latin men, was like, and he knew he was a citizen, so he was recording and shit like that, and he had a little accent. And my man said, "You're not really American like me, You." This is a person with a fucking military uniform on that's supposed to be representing Americans, telling a man who has an accent that he's not American because the way he speaks. And Donald Trump can't even speak in complete sentences. It's crazy, yo. It's crazy. But this man literally is out here trying to get people to say, and I applaud it. He's got to do something. But my point is, if he gets his way on this, which we hope he does, because we need the ACA for millions of Americans, even the racist ones, they still need it. It's crazy when you care about racist people, poor racist people, more than they care about themselves. They care more about the racist part. They don't realize that if the least of us win, we all win. They just think they're going to win by making somebody else's life bad. It's insane. It really is. And I find myself saying it all the time. They're insane. It's insane. Because it is. This shit makes no fucking sense. This is some padded wall shit, y'all. I mean, these people needed to be in a room that's a padded wall. They are literally running into a brick wall head first, fucking their lives up just because they have so much hate for women, for people of color, for trans people, for gay. You know what kills me is that they really think that they got the people with a brain thinking that they make sense when they talk about trans people in sports. If you took trans people, male or female, whatever, just take them out of sports. Just say yes to them. Okay, we're taking them out of sports. We're going to start our own little league for them. Everything's good. They still going to hate them. They ain't going to like them. It is not about the sport. They're trying to get you to hate something. It's all about division. What can we divide the country on? Red or blue, or red, I mean, black and white. It's like gang shit. They're trying to divide you amongst the differences of us. So that if we never unite, the dipshits win. And this is what pisses me off. Smart people are getting bamboozled by the dumb fucks in this country. That gets me the most. And what I've come to understand, I thought that I knew we have more dumbasses in this country than we have smart people. We do. That's the scary part. This country has been dumbed down so much that it is aspirational. We believe just because, we in this room, we think there's a lot more like us that have common fucking sense. They don't. They do not. Throw money in their face and they go opposite direction. That's why when you see people who have been like really like, maybe possibly liberal or on the fence, and because Donald Trump is like throwing money left and right, you're like, what? That person is a Republican now? And this person's a what? They love Trump now? It's money. They're not bright. People be talking about the rapper or whatever. She's talking to Erica Kirk or whatever. Her. Everybody was like, oh, we love her music and she was that. Dumb ass. Always has been. Y'all just fell for it because you loved her music. Always been a dipshit. Always. But she found out where her bread can get buttered. And she ran to it. It's always been about money for them. If Democrats offered her a gang of money, she'd be a Democrat the next day. She denounced all the Kirks and all. Hey, get the fuck out of here. She come right back running to the Democrats. Break her off 3 million, 5 million like they're doing to her. And it is not even a thing. So when it comes down to it, the American people who have values outside of cash that really want life to be better for them, those people have to unite. And it's scary how few of us will ever do it. That's scary. And I wake up every day thinking like, we have to unite. And why aren't people fucking wanting to unite? Do you not see what's happening to people? I want to speak to people of color. These fools killed a white woman in broad day fucking light. They killed Charlie Kirk. Them fools lowered the flag. They killed a white woman. And because she was their liberal, she was no different than any other person of color that loses his or her life in the street. And everybody kind of like, it happens and moves on. They have literally demonized this woman within minutes. Okay? 60 hour, whatever, hour and a half, I think it was. Christy Noman came out and called her a domestic terrorist. These fools have not called the KKK a domestic terrorist yet. And these fools were around for hundreds of years doing stupid shit that are domestic terrorists. These white nationalists that did January 6th, domestic terrorists, they let them go. They fought for the woman and got her $5 million. The family. For the woman, Ashley Babbitt, the one who is it Ashley Babbitt? Is that the one? Ashley went into the January 6th and broke through a window and got herself unalived. She was trying to go in and harm people. That was the last barrier before you would get to where the congressmen and women were at. The last barrier. She broke through that shit. Ex-military woman. And they cared about that woman. Got her $5 million. This one, they don't give a shit about. If they can do that to a white woman who literally, as the guy passed her, I'm not mad at you, bro. I'm not mad at you, man. Not mad at you. She literally was being nice to the guy. And after hearing her be nice to him, he went in front of her vehicle and shot her to death. And then left the scene like he did nothing. I guarantee you, he went home at some point in time and ate, watched TV like he had not took a life. Democrats, independents, representatives in the House and Senate, wake the fuck up. These people don't care about none of this. They're breaking laws left and right. And if we don't vote them out, and hopefully we can last it that long, this shit is just not going to happen. And even now, they're doing lawsuits and things of that nature. I don't even know how far they can go because most of these lawsuits don't hold any kind of like arrest. They're just fines. And when they're getting money from billionaires, those fines, and they're getting money from their constituents, they'll just pay with their fucking money or owe $5,000 a day. Hey guys, could you donate $5,000 a day to me? And these maggots will do it. So I don't know how we get out of this shit, to be honest. We got in it because of a lot of dumbass people, and now they're in trouble because healthcare is about to go crazy. For some, it already has, but I think they said something about February 1st was going to be really the first day, but it's insane. So he wants Obamacare subsidies to stay. But Donald Trump says that he may veto this 3-year extension healthcare subsidy. Now, there's another process where it goes back to the Senate or whatever if it does pass, and they can vote to bypass his veto and still get it in. But are they going to do that, though? I don't know. Their constituents would be the ones fighting for themselves. Because, you know one thing that I constantly go in my head, I'm thinking, we already know, us that have voted, the 90%, the 80 something, like 78 to 80% of black men, the percentages of all other races in the 40s and 50s and like that voted, we already know. But the ones who voted for Republicans to come into place and just destroy this damn country, it's like that's baked in. It's the people who don't vote that we got to get to. The far liberals who literally was voting for a pothead. And no disrespect to potheads, but I wouldn't want somebody who's smoking all the time to be leading this damn country. I'm like, dude, no. Then Marianne Williamson or something like that. I'm like, that chick pops up every time an election comes just to siphon off some of the Democrats, which pisses me off. I'm like, dude, if you weren't such a fucking pothead, you'd be making some better fucking decisions than rolling with a pothead. Like, you really think it's because she smoked weed, she got your best interest. What happened after? You ain't heard from this heifer. She left. She's gone. She ain't got one way to say nothing to the other. She's still hanging out with who? The other one hanging out with Putin. It's and liberals voted for this dipshit. I was like, it's hard, man. It's hard to realize that you walk amongst Neanderthals. It's hard. Did y'all see the video? I'm gonna play it right now of Jerome Powell. I saw this video earlier today, and he made us aware, Americans, that Donald Trump is and his DOJ are, investigating him, and they try to act again. They need to, and I don't know what the Democrats can do. I'm not a lawyer, but I know there's a lady by the name of she's a representative. Trying to get her name here. Let's see if I did write it down. Representative Robin Kelly. She drew up articles of impeachment for Kristi Noem. I don't know how far this is gonna go, but do something. They need to do something about this shit. I mean, even if it doesn't fly, who knows? It just might, but at least try. Just try. That's all we're asking. Just don't sit around and just have us angry on top of angry, and y'all just sit around and be like, well, our hands are tied. The people who didn't vote, I hope you understand that your vote fucking counts. They understood that the vote counted. That's what I don't understand with the people who don't vote. I'm like, dude, these idiots know that it works. That's how they got Donald Trump in. And they know that you guys are so disenfranchised that they wake up every day happy at the fact that you're canceling out your own rights by not voting. They're happy that you're doing this. Women marched, got beat, got harmed, went through a bunch of shit to be able to vote. Men, black people, went through hell to try and be able to vote. Beat, harmed, killed, dogs, bitten, slapped, all that. And y'all throw this shit away. You just throw it away. I've had that moment in my life, early on in my life. I was throwing it away. Disenfranchised. Tired of racism. Tired of all this shit, thinking that everything's going to be the same. But if you don't vote, these types of people will get into office. If you don't show solidarity, these type of people will stay in the office. We are where we are today because people who are disenfranchised of all different races decided to sit out or die on some hill about Israel and other countries and Hamas and all. They ain't really care about Hamas, but Palestinians. And I'm like, neither one of these people were going to be able to stop a war from another country. What do you think we're going to do? Bomb Israel? It was just nonsensical. Neither one of them was going to be able to stop anything. But there was one that was going to keep on trying, while the other one was going to just became buddy-buddy with the dude. And you guys let the buddy-buddy dude. And how did you know this? You knew that Israel loved Trump. They wanted him to win. I don't understand how liberals, the ones who decided to go with this Palestinian Israel shit, didn't realize that the person who was getting in office was a diehard loving fucking Benjamin Netanyahu. That's my friend. That's my baby. That's my friend. Come on now. BB, that's BB. Been knowing him for years. We close, we tight. And you thought that dude was going to stop them from killing your people. That shit was, again, like I said, we walk amongst numbskulls, dipshits. that can't decipher if so, I'm like, how do you even live life? How do you walk in any community that you live in? You are a target because you're too stupid to realize and recognize who around you. If a person said they're gonna do something to you, you sit around and like, okay, let's do that. I'm like, no, they talking about hurting you, dipshit. I mean, that's how dumb it is. I'm gonna vote for the dude that's cool with the dude that's killing my people. He gonna stop it by doing what? Hugging the dude that's killing your people. All right, I'll back up. I'll back up. It's just whew, it's hard to understand. It really is. You wake up like baffled, like how, where does your brain cell ever connect? I mean, like where is it? I mean, I don't get it. And I understand evil, but they'll sit there and bitch and moan about their lives being bad. You'd be like, dipshit, you voted for the person to make your life bad. He literally said he was gonna make your life bad. As soon as he got in, you guys are gonna feel a little pain for just a little while. But he didn't tell you you're gonna be in pain the entire election. He's just gonna fix problems. Anyway, Jerome Powell came out and speak. And, you know, to be honest, this man is the first white Jerome I've ever known in my life. My friend I grew up with, Jerome, all the Jeromes I know black. I had never seen a white Jerome. This is Jerome Powell. And this dude has a demeanor like he just straight, chill, no emotion. I mean, you couldn't tell if this dude won $1 billion. He'd just be sitting there, thank you. Like, can I get a smile? No. Nope. That's how cool he is. He's laid back. This dude is way laid back. In the midst of all this shit, he ain't even, you don't get an arousal. Not even like a inflection in his voice. It's just, I mean, he make like I don't know. He's serial killer of the year. This fool has no emotions. Anyway, let's go. Let's get what he has to say. It's like less than 2 minutes long.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
Told you, my man ain't got no inflection, no emotions. He just straight with it. And I mean, you got to be a person who, I mean, you think about what you do for a living. Like people who I know who are CPAs or like the serious, like you know, personal people. It's like numbers and them are like their best friends. A zero is like, or ones and zeros and all that shit is like their best friend. So they don't talk back. So they just sit there and just, it's really like, you know, my CPA is like, he's null. He's like a flatline person. and homie's totally flatlined. But someone asked, he's the Fed chair, Jerome Powell. He's the one who comes out and lets us know, just like Groundhog Day. Baseball comes out every once in a while. It tells us how our economy is doing and whether we need to increase or decrease interest rates and things of that nature. If you remember, what he's talking about is that when Donald Trump, and this was so funny because I've made fun of this exact moment so many times. And on the news, they kept on, like today, throughout the day, I was seeing different clips. They kept talking about this segment, but they forgot who he's with. I didn't forget who he's with. He was Gums McGee was with him. Gums McGee was with him at the time. When I say Gums McGee, that's Tim Scott. Tim Scott was with Donald Trump and Jerome Powell, and they had the little hard hats on. And Donald Trump's like, yeah, we his fool. He said, yeah, they overdid the, that he's talking about this building. This is what they're doing an investigation because he said he lied to Congress about the buildings that they had renovated and that somehow the money was off, and it wasn't. So he made Donald Trump look like a total, complete nitwit. So Donald Trump was saying, yeah, it was over by so many millions or whatever. And then Jerome Powell looked at him like, and again, like I said, the dude is just so flatline. And it's like, I don't know what it is, but because he's so flatline, he could just grab the recesses of his brain, like, what's he talking about? You could see him like, shit don't make sense. And then and then Donald Trump's like, pull out of his jacket, I can give you the numbers. It's right there. It's right there. Jerome Powell looked at that shit. Nah, man, it's the problem right there. That building had nothing to do with the money anymore. That building's been renovated already. You got the wrong building. You got 3 buildings here when it's actually 2. So that third one is no longer. He goes, well, that was a part of it. That's part of it. He goes, no, that was renovated and done 5 years ago. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, here's your piece of shit paper. And before that, you had Tim Scott shucking and jiving. Well, boss, I saw it too. I saw that it was something like a 3, like you said, boss. Gums McGee was over there talking. And then my man came over and said, nope, that ain't it. Ba-da-da. And simple as that, Donald Trump, but it was still a part of it. He says, it really wasn't. He made Donald Trump, Tim Scott, he looked like he was like, what do you call those people who had to come in the corners and can't say the word, corners and work with somebody to get them ready for the little corno? That was him. He was shining Donald Trump's penis. Come on, get it up. Get it all over in the corner. I'm like, dude, you are terrible. Jerome Powell made both of them look like total dipshits. There was no brain cell between the two of them. As Jerome Powell just sat there calmly as they tried to bum rush him with 2 supposed brain cells when he's over here with a whole head full of brains. Feel me? And they were just trying their best to bum rush him on like live so that he looks stupid. My man was smooth. I love me some Jerome Powell. I don't know if he's a Republican, Democrat. I don't give a fuck. I like the fact that this man made them look like dipshits without even look like he was trying. And he looked like he was kind of like bothered by the fact that you would bring up some stupid shit. Just like, wrong building. I'm tripping because in real life, that's why I say this man is just smart. In real life, when somebody gives you a document, especially when it's like live, you usually like, you can't read letters and actual stuff. You don't feel like you had that much time, so you kind of feel rushed and you might bumble and fumble. This man got a piece of paper he hadn't seen before. Got it, looked at it, and within seconds deciphered. Like it was a spreadsheet. This fool was like, just carried one. Nope, that ain't it. That right there, red building ain't it. Boom. How do you have that in the recesses of your mind? I totally would have skipped on that. That's what I tell people to understand. With numbers or whatever, this man's like a superhero. He came up, they had rehearsed this shit. Him and Donald Trump had rehearsed this with Tim Scott. And he made him look like a complete fool. And that's why they're investigating this man. Over the fact that they tried to say he did something nefarious with the budget. But their assumptions were off because they added a building that had been renovated 5 years ago, which it had nothing to do with this new budget. And they were adding it on as if he got all this money to do these 2 buildings, and he had somewhere. Where's the money at? There's some kind of fraud going on. It's like, no, got the wrong building. 5 years old. Next. So now the DOJ is investigating him and his people because Donald Trump got treated like the dipshit he is. And Gums McGee over here. It's so funny to me, dude. Oh, man. And I don't understand how we got these people in office, y'all. I don't care white, black, Latin. I don't care who become the president in the past or in the future. But please, I don't know. Maybe we need to come up with at least an IQ test for a president. The president's got to be at least, somewhat smart. You can't be a dipshit and be president. We got to put some clause in there. I mean, people who can't understand, or even that, pass some kind of like civics. Donald Trump don't know how this country works. Don't know how the Constitution works. He's asking questions that anybody who had been in politics or at least knew the history of this country would have known that you can't do. Would have known the Constitution doesn't stretch that way. Would have had lawyers to tell him this is not the right thing before he opened his mouth and actually said it in public. But he doesn't have a filter. He doesn't have an intellectual filter. He's a dipshit 24/7. It's crazy. I'm like, what, these people are nuts, yo. So, the excrement they call Mike Johnson was asked about it. And Mike Johnson's running through the hallways. It's crazy how every time they talk to this man, he running through the hallways. He ain't never stopping because he really don't have no answers. He's always just bolting through like he got somewhere to be. I'm not saying he got to get to his next room, but when Donald Trump needs them to do something, if they go into a meeting, they stop right there and answer the damn question. When it gets to the point where they got to answer to the people, because that's what these reporters are, they're answering to the people. They're our connection to the people we voted for. And these people have no respect for the American people to stop and answer questions that Americans want to know. No respect. They have no problems giving a shit we don't even give a damn about. As long as it, prolongs their time in office. It gets them paid. But this is what Mike Johnson had to say about it.
Mr. Speaker, does the Department of Justice's probe into Fed Chair Powell compromise the credibility and independence of the DOJ?
Of course not. No, they're doing their job. I mean, if the investigation is warranted, then they have to play that out. We'll see what happens. The allegation is serious, so we'll see.
Isn't the Justice Department being weaponized against the Fed chairman?
Of course not.
He can't look into the camera because he doesn't have an organized lie to tell you. So let's get out of the way and not make up a lie that I can't. I don't got burned too many times with these people. I ain't talking about me. He has gotten burned so many times coming up with something out of his own brain and then to find out that Donald Trump has said something else prior to them asking him. And he don't want to be on the opposite side of Trump. So this fool will not say anything against Trump whatsoever. I'm sorry, but I'm tired of all politicians following some kind of party line. What do your constituents want? If your constituents need A, B, and C, and mine does too, y'all need to agree on some shit. And the basics for Americans, again, you want your kids to go to school, get a good education. You want to have a living wage job. You want to have health care. You want to have dental. You want like just the basic things in life, like prices to be lowered. We all want that shit. But it's crazy how when you think about what Americans want, all of us want, if we came together, we could get it. But the people who all want the same thing, they divide you over stupid shit. They say, oh, well, we can't pay for healthcare for everybody. So you got to get into your little silos, and we can only help a certain amount of group of people. Yet, at the same time, they can come up with $40 billion to send to Argentina. It's crazy. And it's crazy because Americans, I'm like, how do you not see that we have a plethora of money that we can help the people with? They send money to other countries for literally no fucking reason. And we can't help our own people. If our own people did well, we would pay more taxes. There'd be more money in the government. Therefore, we can help other people and not have a problem. But they want you to think that it's immigrants and it's all these other people that are causing a problem. It's billionaires. How do you see them get richer and richer and richer? And most Americans, white, black, no matter what race, getting poorer and poorer, and not think there's something wrong with the fucking system? That's crazy. It's just crazy. I don't see how you don't see that. And if you do see that, I don't see how you would go against your own best interest because you hate brown, other people, whatever, or even liberals or whatever, even white people that you don't like that are liberals or whatever, independents. And you'd rather mess up your entire life because you don't like what somebody else told you shouldn't like based upon some ideology that somebody made the fuck up. They're marketing tools. And you're like basketball or whatever team you're on a team even though it's losing for you. And they know that's how we got them. These fools will stick with whatever because they just like it's a basketball team. Your basketball football team sucks for 30 fucking years. You still with them. You with the Republican Party, even though it keeps fucking you over because you like that team, even though that team don't give you shit. At some point in time, you're going to need to leave your team and get a better deal as opposed to sit around and get fucked over all the time. They have never done anything for you, Republicans, ever, except for make you feel like white supremacists. That's it. Ask yourself, when have they done anything that's gotten more money in your pocket? When have they done anything that's helped interest rates lower? When have they done anything to create more jobs? All those things I mentioned under Democrats, it's been better for you. So what are you clinging on to? Quit lying. Here's the thing that kills me. This is what I wanted to kind of like get out there, and people may not like it, but I'm gonna tell it because I tell it like it is. Go look it up. Stats wise, for everyday life for the American citizen and things that you want right for you, and excluding race and all this shit like that, we all, no matter what race we are, want these things. There's only one party that has done it for you. Some people talk about they was in the union. Dems helped with that. Republicans didn't want it. They voted it down. They didn't want it. They've been trying to break unions forever, Republicans. If Republicans could break the union, they do it 100%. They could only pay you $10 for an hour for what you're doing for $100 an hour. They would do it. But you would vote for people who literally want that to happen for you. Don't get it. Interest rates, house, everything going up. Under Democrats is the only time your life has gotten better in this country. Under Democrats. Every Democrat, I can't say, but under Democrats is the best you've done financially in your life. Republicans, Democrats, independents, American citizens. You've only done well under Democrats. You've always went under with a Republican. And yet, you don't think you're voting for other reasons? Go look it up. Don't take my word for it. Go look up and see how many presidents either ended wars, started wars. How many presidents, Democrat or Republican, and I guarantee you, Democrats are going to turn out being the ones who have done way more for you than Republicans have. So you ask yourself, what do you cling on to when you talk about Republican? It's not about actual, benefits for you and your family. It's all about cultural shit. It's all about keywords, abortion. You'll fuck over your entire life so somebody else can't do something. It's all about big government, not small government. You want to sit there and control people's lives? That's big government. Well, how would you like it if I came to your farm and said, well, you only can grow so many crops, and I'm gonna have the neighbor come over and take over a piece of your land, and they're gonna crop over here. You got enough land. How would you like that? You wouldn't like it. You'd be fucking shitty. But you're allowing Republicans to do this type of shit to you. Corporations buying up your farms. Republicans. Throwing tariffs on and making you guys beg for fucking money like fucking homeless people. Under Republicans. Have you on fucking news begging a man like you like you his bitch. Well, Trump said he loved me and everything, and I want, him to come help. You don't have to be in this position. Stop voting for fucking Republicans and you have a fucking farm that would flourish. But instead, you vote for people who throw tariffs on your shit, who have a policy that fucks your life up, and then you get on TV crying. Don't you get tired of that shit? No, you keep doing it the same. So you got to understand, you're not voting Republican because they're making your life better economically. You're voting for Republican because they make you feel important as a white person. Democrats include all the people under a tent. Republicans include white people, coons of every shade, but no self-loving people of color. Only white-loving people of color. Republicans don't offer anything for anybody but white people. And then they bring their little coon friends around talking about, I'm cool with him. Really? Then tell me that you've never said the N-word. I just saw a video just the other day. Black dude throwing up the Heil Hitler sign alongside a racist saying that he don't want his women, American women, white women, being taken over by the N-words. Right in front of the black dude. The black dude sitting there, yeah. The fuck is wrong with this kid? If he ain't like Clayton Bigsby, I'm like, are you blind? Do you think you white, bruh? What the hell? They don't do shit for you. Never have, never will. They don't even do shit for their own white poor. That's what trips me out about it. I'm like, dude, how in the world do you go with something that doesn't give a fuck about you? You're talking about people who have attachment issues. Your mom and dad didn't love you, so you think love is being treated the way these people treat you. That's sick. Y'all need counseling. You attach to a group of people that don't care about you. And they'll say they're not racist. Like, really? Then tell me, why is it that when you go to a Republican National Convention, from the beginning of fucking time to now, it's 99.9999 Bubba in that bitch. When I mean Bubba, redneck white people. You see black speckles of people. Black here, a black person there, and 4 Indians right here from India, and 4 Indians over here, Native Americans, whatever. 4 this, 4 that, 7 of these. 9 million fucking white people. A sea of fucking white. And then the camera pans around and tries to find them a nigga. Oh, look, you go one nigga, look at my blacks. Do you see Democrats calling black people, look at my blacks? Fuck no. So quit saying the Republicans aren't fucking racist. You guys are racist as fuck. That's your fucking plan. You don't have any other strategy for anything. Your Republicans fail at every fucking thing. They don't know how to govern. They don't know how to manage. They don't know how to manage money. They don't understand big government versus small government because they're huge government as far as Republicans go. They're never small. They always want to control people's lives. Democrats don't do it like that. They're opening a tent to gay, lesbian, bi, straight. You guys close the tent down. But then pretend like you want them in your party just so that you can have a plethora. Why do you think you guys are always starving for celebrities to come into your party? And you end up getting the trash celebrities, the people that look like they've been on meth and shit even though they're rich. The people who look like they haven't took a bath since their mama popped them out of her vagina. Those are the people that come over to your parties and y'all be like, well, we don't even like celebrities. Really? So when this black girl, or it ain't black, what is she, Puerto Rican, whatever she was, the rapper comes over, y'all over there kissing her ass. I thought y'all didn't like celebrities. That was your biggest celebrity in a long time that came over. You guys were fucking hyped about her. You put her on display. I thought y'all didn't like that shit. No, you can't get people like that on the norm. So you try to demonize it, but you have no problem with them coming over to your side to try and exploit the people who look like her to vote for you. And she's not knowing that she's a fucking tool. Not to make it better for her people, but to get the people who hate her and her people selected into office to fuck her over and everybody else that look like her. They know they can't win unless they appeal to people of color. But they never give you any power. The longest Republican I know that is black that's in the Republican Party is Tim Scott. Where the fuck is he after he sat there and shoe shine and buffed Donald Trump's tip of Donald Trump's penis? Where's he at? Nowhere. Nowhere. He's not being interviewed. He don't have no job worth a damn. He was just a Negro to get people to think these other, 20%, 18, 19% of these Negroes that voted for him, 20, whatever it was, got y'all believing he's going to do something because they had the little Tim Scott and all the other little blacks that came around. And what happened with them? They nowhere. All those black men that was out there running around, where they at? Byron Donalds, where he at? They ain't gave neither one of them a job. Didn't put nobody black is next to Donald Trump. He got one black dude that's hidden into the HUD area. And I believe they only want to give a black person that job because they think that black people are the ones who are in HUD mostly, not anybody else. So go and let him take over black people. We're going to take over the rest of the world. Got nothing. And they say Republicans aren't racist. Yes, you are. 100%. They ain't even a little bit about you not racist. Because you have no proof that that party's ever done anything for you other than make you feel like you're better than everybody else without ever doing anything. They make you feel guilty to take shit from them. And then they tell everybody else is taking money and you guys can pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. You're already doing it. And then they give you subsidies and you don't think it's welfare. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy how these people mind fuck the hell out of these Republicans, people of color, poor white people, and they never give you anything for it. Just a promise that you're going to be close to power. And when the time for them to get into power, like I said, where are these black people who thought they was going to be in power? They somewhere in the basement waiting to be called up. They ain't none of them in front of the camera now. I would love for somebody to put a mic in front of Byron Donalds right now. Where you at, bro? You still in office? Because I ain't seen you. Tim Scott, where you at, man? They got you caged up in the back somewhere? They feeding you through a cage? Where you at? Not a bill, not a law, not a conversation. I ain't seen you in the news whatsoever. You was all up in the news when Donald Trump was running. I thought he had your back. You thought you were going to be vice president. He picked the hillbilly racist dude. Married to an Indian woman. No, none of them. Mastermind Vibes, they're all gone. All the black people that was chucking and jiving for Donald Trump, you don't see them anymore. They hiding. Did you guys know, I heard today, I didn't go too deep in it. I just saw there is a lawsuit that says that the defendants, the tactics for the police or the public trust, whether for the police, the ICE agents, stuff like that, they've been going around, and I thought they were really police. They've been going around with the word police on their back of their jackets and their vehicles. They're not police. They're impersonating police officers. I did not know this. This was coming into as a lawsuit, and this is a part of what they were talking about. And I was like, I didn't know that they could. I thought they were police. because I saw the police on their backs. It says defendants' tactics undermine public trust in local law enforcement because defendants' agents are engaging in unnecessarily provocative and at times unlawful behavior. DHS agents have used tactics to resemble local police. They're not police, and they can't pretend to be police. Like using vests that say police, vehicles with police lights and yellow police tape. They're not police. So this is a lawsuit that they have in Minnesota. They're impersonating officers. I thought that shit was highly illegal. I thought it was highly illegal. We had the in Minnesota, which was awesome. The right after Renee Nicole Good, say her name, was killed by that FBI ICE agent, whatever the department he was really in. I told you they left there and went over to a school called Roosevelt High School and attacked people over there, mace and all these different pepper spray, and they had their knee in the back of somebody. I couldn't tell if it was adult teacher or young student. I couldn't tell. But that's the video I showed you where the woman told the kids they just killed somebody, so you guys need to don't aggravate them, because she knew they had just killed somebody. At least that group of people that who were walking around in their state. And that school, that Roosevelt High School, I'm proud of these young kids. They got out there today and they boycotted. They walked out of school and did their thing, y'all. Proud of them. Walked out and did their thing. Said, no, hell no, we ain't going. It ain't gonna be that way. So they got out, they marched. And it's sad that we got children that having to have to go out here and march for their rights and to get rid of these people out of our state. Just do your fucking job somewhere else. But there's nothing wrong with our states. We don't have a huge crime wave going. In fact, I would like to ask you a question. I mean, personally, since ICE and DHS and all these military people, whatever, have been in our streets in different cities and different states, rather, the crime has been happening by them. We haven't heard of the crimes that are happening by the people whom were already criming in the cities and states. I don't quite understand that, because I thought you were trying to make it safe for people, and we haven't heard you arresting anybody who was a criminal that may have harmed somebody or was in the process of harming somebody. If you're in the streets, maybe you would have been able to solve some of these crimes, or at least be there or around there when it happened or whatever. But that's what you're supposed to be here for. Donald Trump said there was a lot of crime in the areas in Washington, D.C. and stuff like that, but you're not doing your jobs. You're harming American citizens. And then you're going to try to get these criminals who were Latin, Venezuelan, from what you say, Venezuelan gangs. You haven't arrested any of these criminals. You're arresting regular ass Latin people. You're telling people who have a Latin accent that they're not American just because they have a Latin accent. Sounds like some Nazi type shit to me. Not some you're trying to whitewash this country. Because anybody with an accent, you're trying to tell me you're going to run up on? I mean, I remember, I think it was in the late 90s, whatever. In Texas did it a lot. But that stop and frisk shit ended up with a lot of lives being lost. A lot of people arrested for something they didn't do, beat up for something they didn't do, harmed for shit they didn't do. And they got rid of it. They made it unlawful. And they brought it back. It didn't work before. So how do you think it's going to work now? It isn't. So why don't we stop this shit? How do we stop it? We stopped it before. How about you Republicans, independents, along with the Democrats, the ones who had 17 that broke for the ACA? How about you break for the American citizens so that they don't get unalived? It's crazy. In that same state, the mayor spoke out again. I like this mayor. Seems like he loves his town and he ain't taking no shit. I don't know what it is, but something tells me he was either a wrestler when he was a kid or he was a boxer of some sort. My man, he takes off the gloves. He ain't got no problem telling people how he feel. And you can see he's passionate about it. He's not doing it for being a politician. He's doing it because this shit's coming straight off the dome and straight from his heart. Just check him out. You can't fake this emotion. If you can, you need an Oscar.
We are not victims in the city of Minneapolis. We've got heroes that are standing up for each other, that are standing by the neighbors that they love. And one thing that I can tell you for certain is that we aren't backing down.
And they aren't backing down. In fact, they just made, at that same press conference, they introduced, or at least they talked about, they're suing Trump and administration for what's going on and saying that they're not making Minnesota safer. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite way around. They're making it more dangerous for the American citizens. So the only thing that I have a problem with that, and I don't have a problem with what they said and what they did, it's just that when you get to the Supreme Court, they're in Donald Trump's pocket. And other courts, they're not. So I think what they were saying will go through for their city and their state, and even up to the federal. I think they will really kind of hold it. But then Supreme Court will overturn it for Donald Trump. So, but at least they're doing something, and they're suing. So I hope this actually deters something. But this is I think Keith Ellison. I think he's Attorney General there, Minnesota.
Entire districts have had to cancel school, tens of thousands of students to ensure safety and offer online education because of the students and the parents' fear of coming into the school. Local businesses are struggling. Revenues are down. And some retail stores, daycares, and restaurants have actually closed because people are afraid to go out and to do their shopping, whether they're immigrants or whether they are citizens of many generations. This surge has made us less safe.
Very much so. And I hope, I don't know, I know they filed this. I don't know what time it'll get to be able to be a case or whatever, but I hope it deters them. Again, keep trying, Dems. Keep trying. I mean, there's no stopping this game. We really have to keep going. These people disperse and come up with shit like every fucking 5 minutes. I guarantee you, like every 30 minutes, they're thinking about putting out another thing. Donald Trump will put out a tweet, news runs with that. He'll put out another tweet, news run with that. Then somebody in another department will do something, news run with that. And it's all to get out of the way of the Jeffrey Epstein files. It's all to get away from them blowing up those two people that were in Venezuela in the waters that they should not have done. All that. They want you to get rid of, they want to erase all this other shit. And I feel like Democrats are like a cat with a fucking like laser light. They're just, here's something, they run for it. Here's something, they run for it. Here's something, they run for it. And they can never stick to the things that are bigger. You guys need to, for me personally, you guys need to figure out what are the big stories and stick with those. Stop chasing these bullshit ass stories they got. Make those bullshit ass stories a VO, a SOT. This is what happened today, blah, blah, blah. Back to. This is what happened over here, blah, blah, blah. Back to. You guys keep going with the topic of the day. and they know they can get your ass to go around like a little fucking cat and shit. And you just jumping around on every story because you have this feeling of like gossip. You want to get gossip out there first. You guys are like, it's like throwing chum in the water. You guys bite at every piece of fucking chum, and Americans don't care about every piece. The ones that really deal with our life is what we care about. You jump at the bit for all of them. And therefore, news feels very chaotic. You're all over the place and you don't have a narrative. And your narrative should be sticking to stories that are harming America, harming democracy. That's the way I look at it. That's my personal belief in it. Then you got, and not only is Minnesota suing, Illinois is suing too. The administration over the ICE deployments, which I'm happy about that as well. As you can see, the ICE they're both suing. I'm hoping each state that they have a man will be suing. They said they're going to send more and more troops into Minnesota. Kristi Noem, after her little bullshit interview with Jake Trapper, she stuck to her guns like, yeah, she was a domestic terrorist. I'm like, no, she's not. I mean, dude, a domestic terrorist is a person who turns their car to get away from men that are attacking her. That's a domestic terrorist. It's sad. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There's another thing that happened today that I found out later on today. So I didn't get a chance to dig into it, but another situation with the boats that they blew up in Venezuela. The one we know about is the one where they went and unalived two men that they should have took as captives, and they've captured two other men before and just let them go. So if it was about drugs, why did you just let them go to their prospective countries? But these two you murdered, and then now there's another one. And earlier on boats that they did something which I didn't know the name of. And you guys who may be in the military, I haven't seen, I think you may take a break for a while, 5 Alarm Fire. But there is a term called perfidy, Perfidy. I did not know what that meant, but I had to go look it up. And that right there is like, it says like in the law of armed conflict, perfidy has a very precise meaning. It refers to acts when one side feigns protected status, such as surrendering, pretending to be a civilian, or posing as a medic, with the intent to kill, injure, or capture the enemy once that trust is granted. Because wars depend on certain shared rules to limit brutality, perfidy is considered a serious war crime. And it's like, give you an understanding that it's like, think of if somebody is in the military, right? And they just raised the white flag. Now, they raised the white flag, that means they gave up. And then you, as the military, will capture them. They become a prisoner of war. But if that person raised a white flag, and you didn't lower your gun, and you proceeded to kill them, even though they gave up, and everybody saw it, of course, then you just committed a war crime, because once they tell you that we've surrendered, you take them as prisoners. That's just the law of crime, right? Of wars. Well, in this situation, Donald Trump and his minions, along with Pete Hegseth, and military men and women. This is where Mark Kelly was trying to tell these military men and women not to fucking do. Don't break the laws, because boy, you gonna get it. Well, according to New York Times, the U.S., when they attacked one of these boats, at least, they know it's one of them, they pretended to be a regular aircraft. Like United, not saying that's the brand that it was, but they pretended to be, it was a regular aircraft that killed these men. It looked like a regular plane, like I said, a jetliner that me and you would fly to go whatever state, hang out. It didn't have any bombs or weapons below it attached to it to know that it's a military weapon. None of the above. It says the Pentagon used a secret aircraft painted to look like a civilian plane in its attack on a boat that the Trump administration said was smuggling drugs, killing 11 people last September. I think that was the first one they did, at least first or second one. It was earlier on. According to officials briefed on the matter, the aircraft also carried its munitions inside the fuselage rather than visibly under its wing. That is tantamount if you were in a war, which we were not, of people that had no idea they were at war. You're at war with them and doing shit that they had no idea that you were doing what you were doing. They're out there fishing. They see a regular plane. Oh, I wonder where they're going. And they drop bombs on people pretending to be a regular aircraft. If we were at war, which we weren't, but they decided that we are to some degree, that's a heavy war crime. And that would mean that the people who released that bomb, military men and women, the military women and men who may have been flying that plane, the military men and women who painted said plane to look like a regular plane, the military men and women who loaded up the gas for this fucking plane, the fuel for this plane, the men and women who were in cargo in this plane that were military, you all in fucking trouble. If this shit goes through, you all in fucking trouble. It's crazy, yo. And the idea that these people went through with it, the generals, the heads had to have known this is a war crime if you were at war. They're saying they were at war, but we weren't at war. So in all honesty, it was just murder. They murdered people pretending to be a regular plane. What does America come to, dude? You can't trust us, then we really don't have a country worth a damn. Because every ally, I want people to understand this and hear me clearly. Without allies, America will go down. You can only bomb so many damn people. If every country can't stand America, all we have to do is keep fucking up and they would blow us the fuck up. You're talking about America being the least safe it's ever been. Russia has nuclear weapons. China has nuclear weapons. There's many countries that have nuclear fucking weapons. North Korea, even though they said it can't reach here, it doesn't matter that it can't reach here. If we piss off Russia, which Donald Trump took oil and said to Venezuela that they can't send oil to Russia and to the countries that it was normally sending it to, they just want to send it to him, then he just robbed Russia of oil that they would normally get. I don't give a shit about Russia, but the point is, they already have a deal with Venezuela and all these other countries, Cuba and Colombia. All these people have deals with their oil, and Donald Trump's just taking it all. That can't be making them happy. And that will make them run to their enemies and start to become frenemies. Now, frenemies can form their own union of other people who just can't stand America. While these dipshit, low-class, idiotic white men and women are out here, high-fiving each other because they feel like they're powerful, but they're a bunch of fucking nitwits putting America in such a bad situation. It don't take much for these countries to get together and say, you know what, fuck it. These little tyrant shits are getting on my fucking nerves. We all got weapons. Send some nuclears over to North Korea. Russia, send some over there. Send some to this country. The ones that can actually reach America. Make sure that they're good. Send some of our scientists over there. These fuckers keep fucking with us. See what happens. Everybody at some point in time gets tired of the fucking bully. And if every one of the people who are allies with us are forced to work with their enemies just so that they can have a piece of life, they'll do it. And the moment that happens, America's fucked. And when you got dipshits running the country that can't see it, we in trouble. We in trouble. This dude is making us less safe, not safer. Hugo said that's why he's intimidating Greenland and Venezuela. I know. He said he doesn't want Russia. If he gets Venezuela again, he's fucking with Russia inadvertently because Russia has places out there deal with Greenland and other countries. Venezuela, him owning that is owning them at some point in time. I don't know what you guys feel like in life or what you've went through in your life, but at some point in time, you punch the bully. In America, I believe we have gotten to the point where we believe our own hype so much that we can't fight every country. We can fuck some countries up, but we can't fight every country. And with them pissing off NATO with the Greenland shit, I don't know the game plan. Maybe Donald Trump has worked with these tyrants, these dictators, and he's trying to get rid of them so that he can join with the dictators and fuck every other country up with nukes. I have no idea what their plan is. But America's not safe if we gotta rely on despots to fucking like protect us. Can't trust that. I'm just saying. And these fools literally talked about, oh, we did such a great job. Yeah, you broke the fucking rules of engagement. They didn't even have a fair chance to even fight. You literally played to be a fucking plane like United. You painted yourself to look like a regular fucking plane. And dropped a bomb out of your fuselage and didn't give them a fair chance whatsoever to survive. Yeah, playing dirty, you can win a lot. And we aren't at war, y'all. These people made this shit up to steal Venezuelan oil. And did you see the heads, I think it was ExxonMobil, one of them, said that Venezuela is the oil, it's what do you say, uninvestable. Something like that. Sounds like it's wrong, but I think that's what he said. But it's just saying that, why would you invest in that place? It's going to cost more to pull the oil out than you would if you sold it. The fuck we need it for? He didn't say all that. That's me. And Mr. Global, like I tell you, I recite him every once in a while because I always look for people who are smart in their area, and I check what they say, at least 10, 20 times, and then I roll with them. I'm like, all right, cool. But Mr. Global has been right whenever I watch his videos more than he's ever been wrong. So I go back and check it out. I'm like, okay. I still check everything he says, but it turns out, and he's an oil person. He's like, they're not buying this oil, dude. So why are we over there now? Just to have control of it? Nobody wants to buy it. Again, in my mind, the only people who are going to fuck with that are the small oil companies. But it's so much money. The small oil companies can't survive putting out $1 trillion fucking dollars. Donald Trump is telling them it's 100 million. Man, 100 million, my ass. I know it sounds like a lot of money to us, but it's not. It sure as hell ain't not. It's not. That's like, I remember years ago when not Sean Carter. Forgot which rapper it is, but anyway, the producer said the one that's with Drake. The producer said he got $100 million, which he had to split up between the three that he had. So that's 60 million or whatever. And he kept, I guess, the rest of it, whatever. But he got $100 million for artists. You know that money almost gone now. Just the way they live life. If it ain't gone already. You got $100 million. Is it 100 million or they say 100 billion? It may have been 100 billion. It might have been 100 billion. Okay. But still, that's not enough money to do the oil at all. That's just to try and get the infrastructure even in a process of revamping it, revitalizing it, and doing all the shit they need to do to it, and the land itself, and the oil itself. That's not even trying to get the oil out of the ground. That's just getting it prepared. Getting it out of the ground is a whole other process. And then guess what he told them? That we would help them. The fuck if we will. Wait a minute. And this is where it got me thinking. Donald Trump said he made all his gazillions of dollars and shit from tariffs. I don't think he gave that money to the government. I think this man's going to give these billionaires the money to do what they're going to do. He's going to try and entice them to do it with our money as if it's his own money. Like, as if it's his own investment into this. Because guess what he said he's going to do? Instead of the House dealing with the money that's coming in this country, and the Senate and all stuff like that, other equal branches of government, this fool said he's going to put the money in an offshore account that only he controls. Who in the fuck would want that? Republicans, how can you want that? This guy's going to control the money. This is the same dude that controlled the money for his nonprofit, where he's supposed to be giving money to some kids or another in this program. And this fool was buying big ass pictures and paintings of himself, costing tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of art and shit, putting it in his house, and it's supposed to be going to kids. This is the same guy that had a Trump Academy and had to fork out $25 million because he fucked everybody over in his fake ass academy. You want this man to get billions upon billions and possibly $1 trillion going into an offshore account? That means that money is not going to the United States where it can be used for programs for the people. It's going into an offshore account, which means it's not being taxed. Why the fuck would Americans not want the money that's supposed to be coming into America not taxed? But we're going to be the ones putting up the money from American taxpayers to give subsidies to these oil companies. And he keeps telling you that he's going to bring money into the country. How? Offshore accounts is not into our country. It's just, boy. And they're biting on this shit. I'm like, what? Can't make that shit make sense at all. And they aren't even, like I said, I haven't even heard anybody in the news, Republican, liberals, I haven't heard anybody literally say, offshore account? What? I heard them just say he wanted to put in an offshore account and he would control it. That's all they left it. But I'm like, go deeper. How the fuck would that work? Because you wouldn't be paying taxes on it. But our tax dollars went to help pay for it. But we don't get no return back to help the people. Then you can't take our money if it ain't for the people. Boy. And then it gets me, like I said, when these MAGAs find out how Donald Trump fucked them over, it's not going to be between liberals and independents. It's not going to be between, knuckleheads that are not MAGA. Mark my words. If Donald Trump doesn't die of regular causes, he will die at the hands of one of his MAGAs. Not one of them, not like the celebrity ones, well, not celebrity, but the House and Senate, the ones who are, politicians. I'm talking about one of the ones who's going to lose their home because of this fool. One of these ones that's going to lose their farm because of this fool. One of these ones that's don't have health care and they're on their deathbed, or don't have health care because of Donald Trump, and their wife or their baby daughter dies because Donald Trump fucked them over. Those are the ones who are going to hunt his ass. Trust and believe. I'm just saying, those MAGAs are the ones who kill people. Every last one of these assassinations have been, like I say, every last one, I would say 99.9 of them have been MAGA. And they try to make them seem like they some kind of liberals. They're not. They're not. Don't get it twisted. MAGA is gay. MAGA is trans. MAGA is bi. MAGA has all them in their group. Disillusioned as they may be, they have them in their group. They just want you to believe when one of them is of that persuasion, which he wasn't. The other person, his girlfriend was. They're like, oh, it's nope. You don't have any documentation that he did anything other than what was written on his bullets, and you don't know who wrote those. If he wrote them, maybe somebody who may have helped him, maybe, or he could have did it as a I'm gonna get away with it. So let me make it believe that it's a liberal, so they'll never come look for me. We don't know the story because he dead. Oh no, he's alive. He's alive. My bad. He's alive. The one that got that. Him. He's alive. But we don't know the whole story. We haven't heard anything else about him. The one that tried to take Trump out the first time, he's dead. At least that's what they say. We never seen the body. We never heard about what happened afterwards. Nobody looked into his past, and Donald Trump's ear is still in fucking intact. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, how the fuck you have a bloody ear and you got your entire ear back? I know for damn sure this part can't grow back. Don't believe it? We all witnessed it. Mike Tyson bit the ear off of one of the boxers, right? He tried to put the shit back on. Couldn't do it. He's got a nick in his ear right now. So we can look at his ear, which got bit off, and a bullet to hit Trump's. Come on, man. Come on. Can't tell me that shit happened. I don't understand it. How you put an ear back when it's bitten off, and you got the entire piece sitting down there on the canvas, and you pick that bitch up, you can't put it back on, but it gets blown off with a bullet, and the pieces scatter. Somehow you put the ear back. That shit didn't come off intact. A bullet hits something, as soon as it hits, blew it off. Ain't no putting no specks of meat back together. That ain't it. That ain't it. So I don't know how he got an ear back. So something's up with that. I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just, my question starts with the fact first. The fact is, his ear didn't get hit. And seeing as how his ear didn't get hit, Donald Trump had a blood packet in his hand. Why would you have a blood packet? Ear not hit. I'm just saying. Cartilage don't grow back. Just like Benny Loco says, it doesn't grow back. He got a perfectly round earlobe, yo. That don't make sense to me. I've always questioned that. I say I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I can't say that the shooting didn't happen. I'm just saying he didn't get hit by it. Not at all. All right, we got one more thing to talk about before we get up out of here. I appreciate y'all as always. The last thing I'm going to talk about is how Donald Trump, I'm going to try and read the future. I've been prophetic a few times. Okay, I'm trying to read the future, y'all. I'm trying to see it because I'm seeing patterns, and these patterns are coming up ever so often. And I think with Donald Trump, they're working towards something about white supremacy. Okay, mark my words out today at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, January 12th, 2026. I'm gonna give you a quote from Donald Trump. Okay, this happened on January 11th, which was yesterday. Or at least they had the article out yesterday. I'm sure he either said that or he said it on the 10th, but it came out in an article. Brace yourself for this one. Just brace yourself. Trump says civil rights led to white people being very badly treated. Now, remember I told you about Donald Trump's truth? I read to you a couple of them, whereas it had complete sentences in it. Yeah, and there was no very badly treated. There's none of this shit in there, so you knew he didn't write it. But anyway, this is a quote from him, supposedly there. White people were very badly treated, where they did extremely well, and they were not invited to go into a university to college. This is Trump. He wrote this shit because he already done fucked up sentences. One sentence had like 75 fuck ups. It's exaggeration, but a lot of them. Anyway, he said an apparent reference to affirmative action in college admissions. So I would say, in that way, I think it was unfair in certain cases. He would go on to say some other shit that, had to deal with that. But Donald Trump and his minions don't say anything, especially if they do an interview or they have a press conference or they go to a newspaper or whatever and talk to them. They don't do anything for no reason at all. Nah, this right here is calculated, in my belief. All right? It's calculated. And what you say, pray tell, Drew, what do you think is calculated for? I think to coalesce Donald Trump's group of people. This is what I think. I could be wrong. Donald Trump's going to introduce reparations for white people. Said it. Donald Trump is going to introduce reparations for white people. And the fucked up part about it, white people will consider it. Yep, I said what I said. Why do I believe it? Too many times they're out here saying some of the most egregious shit. That right there saying that civil rights hurt white people. Civil rights allowed more white women opportunities than any other race. So how is it that civil rights help white women get into the workforce, help white women get jobs and get paid a lot more than they were before, get them out of the house and all stuff like that? How is it that DEI and all these things that have helped more white people than it's helped anybody else? Again, white people are on welfare more than any other race, but they paint black people as the welfare queen. White people got helped by DEI, by affirmative action, by civil rights laws and shit like that, than black, brown, and any other race. But they paint it as for black people because we're the ones who fought and died for all people. But I'm telling you, Donald Trump is going to offer reparations to white people. Yep. Good white people won't accept it. But these racist white people, they think they deserve it. They blame these people of color coming into this country and stopping their progression. And Donald Trump keeps feeding them that. That makes more sense to me as to why they're doing things that appear to be against their own personal interests. And you also got to pay attention to the fact that while Donald Trump was running, these Proud Boys and all these other organizations, these white nationalists, they were for this whole thing. And they had conversations in all these different groups outside of what liberals or media was even privy to. On top of that, Project 2025, White Nationalist Heritage Foundation, behind the scenes on apps that nobody else can see, doing things to people and getting away with it, breaking laws left and right. And now he's introducing that white people got treated badly because other people who were qualified for jobs were given opportunities despite their race, whether they can do something or not, despite their sex, whether they can do something, or if they're disabled, whether they can do a job or not. If they can, they can. If they can do it well, give them an opportunity. What they're saying is, when they talk about white people, they're talking about white men. Because again, like I told you, out of DEI, out of affirmative actions, out of civil rights, white women benefited more than any other race. So when they say white people, they're talking about white men. These white men want reparations. These racist white men separated. They want reparations, and I think he's prepping them up for it. I truly believe it. Because I mean, why would you say stuff like this? This has nothing to do with reality. I mean, DEI and all those things and civil rights, it was just so that you can also interview black people. Otherwise, we wouldn't get interviewed. Everything that happens in life that has, like, people who come up, like these racists who come up with, why is there a black entertainment television? Like, we just decided to separate ourselves from white people because we just can't stand white people. Where's that at? Where's the black supremacists at? Where they at? Where they the ones out here talking about we gotta kill, unalive whitey? Where do you got that group at? There is no group like that. For hundreds of years, we got groups that don't like people of color. Have hung, raped, killed these white men with masks on. They've been doing it for hundreds of years. Hello? I don't get this shit. You know what I'm saying? But they're the ones that been harmed. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. They will be trying their best to give white men reparations. They're going to blame civil rights. It's set up. Whenever they do something and you pay attention to it, you know they got ulterior motives for saying it. They put it out. This is supposed to hit every racist in the right spot, in the sweet spot. Yeah. See, people are listening to us. These darkies, these this and that and the thirds. Yeah. If they didn't exist, we would have those jobs. They don't got past merit. Merit just means I'm a white male, I should have a job. I should never not have a job. It's them that should never have a job. I should always have a job just because I'm a white male. I should have it. And not just a regular job, good paying job, even though I can't read. They believe that shit. And this right here is red meat to them. Trust and believe. Well, that's my little 2 cents of the future. Again, that may not be all factual, but it is factual what they're doing. What you see is factual. It's just that I read into it where people might let it go. There's no reason to say this out loud unless you're trying to feed it to somebody. And who would listen to this? If you see probably in my comments, good white people will be like, I ain't taking that damn money. It's fucking dirty money. I ain't gonna take that money. I'll give it to somebody. Give it to somebody of color. I ain't taking that cash. Good white people. But this isn't written for gold. This is coded for racist white people, specifically racist white men who feel aggrieved that they should have got a job, that a white woman or women of color, men of color, certain poor people who aren't liberals, who aren't Republicans, whether they're liberal, you don't deserve it. I do. And this man is speaking their language. Yep. That's what I believe. And I don't know. We'll see. I hope to God I'm wrong. But something tells me I'm right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As always, much love to y'all. Y'all know how to support your boy. Continue doing what I do. Bring you some more facts and my rants about what's going down. I'm a bit sick of how this country is running right now. But I love, with all the stuff that we've gone through, this is the only country I lived in. And so I love where I'm from. I love my family. I love what we've been through, all the struggles we've been through, all my ancestors went through. I wouldn't be here if they didn't fight. And it's up to me for my kids to have a better life. I got to continue to fight. For your kids to have a better life, you and we all collectively have to begin to fight. Kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, all that. We can't win if we don't join together. We just can't. So we got to keep speaking up whenever we hear craziness, whether it be in our home, in our schools. Be careful at work, but if it is a situation you can do, won't get fired. I ain't trying to get nobody fired. But stand up. Stand up. Because you don't, we all going to fall. This country, this world is a we thing. It is not a me thing. And and this is what, I am not a person who hates on this country to hate on this country. I want it to be its absolute best. I only dream that it could actually be what we've always wanted it to be. But one of the things I hold very dear is at the very beginning in this whole conversation of this country, which my people weren't included at the beginning, but the reality is what it was set up to be is to say at the very beginning of it, it doesn't say me, the people. It literally says we, the people. And I take that we very personally. That means all, for me, good people trying to have a better life. That is the we. And these people dividing us over stupid shit. We can all have agreements and disagreements on certain things, but we shouldn't have to hate each other for our individual opinions unless those opinions are actually harming people and you know you're doing it to harm people because it doesn't benefit you other than fulfill the evil and hate you have in your heart to make somebody hurt. But if you're fighting for your family to have a better life, you don't have to push anybody else's life down. We are stronger together, and that's where the we comes in. It's not me, the people. This country did not become what it is because of one person. It didn't come looking inward and saying, it's just about me, me, me. We've come from nothing to something because of we. And if you really take that message to heart, then you'll understand the real meaning of we, the people. Not me, the people. We, the people. All right. I'll see you guys when I see you. Much love to you. Thank you for being in support. I'll see you tomorrow around the same time. Much love. See you when I see you.